Speaking of shrinkflation and how it's screwing all of us and hurting our pocketbooks, where corporations shrink the package, they don't change the price, but they make everything more expensive per ounce. Tofu used to be 16 ounces and now it's 14. Ice cream used to be 2 quarts and now it's 1.5. Cowboy Jen says, I'm very lucky that I can get meat and some other commodities from local farmers for less than the store sells them, and we have a plethora of small ethnic grocery stores within 20 miles. This I think is the answer to this problem, right? So I was speaking on a live the other night about permaculture principles, and one of them is creatively use and respond to change. That's sort of how we talk about how everything the regime does or corporations do to make our quality of life worse. Every terrible thing they try and do to us can create a backlash effect. We can use that as a chance to learn and adapt and change. And on my backup TikTok, I was talking about how farmers are doing this when big agribusiness no longer wants to buy their corn or their peanuts, where they cannot get a price per bushel that doesn't mean they're taking a loss, right? Like it can't make a profit selling to these giant ag corporations. I featured some farmers who are trying to sell direct to consumers. They're trying to sell their corn direct to other farmers, livestock producers. They are trying to sell their peanuts. One of the farmers I mentioned was making peanut brittle and selling it direct to consumers, opened up an online shop to sell peanut brittle, and he was able to get a fair price then for his peanuts and be able to stay in business. Right, the solution is not, oh shit, we're fucked by corporations. Like we just have to bend to whatever they want. Farmers have to lose their farms. We have to settle for paying more. There's nothing we can do. We're not helpless. We're creative. We're adaptive. We need to look for solutions and build those solutions. Jen brings up shopping at ethnic grocery stores as a way to get around the fact that when you shop at a big chain store, those big corporations are shrinkflating you and or jacking up the prices. I have found that both of the Asian grocers we like to shop at, the Supermercado and also the Ukrainian grocery store in town, they don't have their prices going up as much as big chain grocery stores because they know their customer base. They're trying to make sure that things are still affordable for their consumers. And also they often source from alternate locations, alternate producers. I know one of our local Asian grocery stores has a lot of their produce grown locally. That means the prices are better. There's less shrinkflation. Also, we want to support those businesses because that's helping support local food chains, helping support immigrant families. That makes all of our experience of growing, producing, selling, eating food, all of that more resilient. And likewise, Jen is saying buy from local farmers. This is like how we buy half a cow from a local farmer, and therefore I'm paying $4 a pound, whether it's ground beef or steak. And considering ground beef right now is $8.99 in Portland, that means I'm saving a huge amount of money. I'm also making sure that a local farmer has a guaranteed purchaser. He knows before that calf is even born, he knows that he has families who have already committed to purchasing it. Having CSAs, having those direct farmer to consumer chains, right? Like the shorter the food chain, the more resilient, the more affordable it is. You're cutting out all those middlemen. You're cutting out all the corporate greed. I think when we are looking at shrinkflation, when we're looking at corporations squeezing us more and more and more and more, that's been happening, for a long time, but definitely since 2020. In 2020, we saw corporations totally hike prices and claim like, oh, it's all about supply chain shortages. And that was a little bit, but really they ended up doing it because they knew they could get away with it, right? They posted record profits in 2020, 2021, 2022. It's how hard can they squeeze us? How much blood can they get out of this turnip, right? And I think for a lot of us, we have a limit. Like we can't suffer anymore. We don't have any more in our bank accounts. We're forced to look for alternate means of being able to feed our families in a sustainable way. It's terrible that we're in this situation, but it really is also a good thing because it gives us a chance to be adaptive and say, you know what, that system was never working for us. They were always screwing us over. It just became so much more overt, but it never was good. It never was sustainable. And now we get a chance to look for alternatives, to create alternative pathways. And those pathways can be more resilient, more sustainable, more abundant if we allow them to be. We had a chance in 2020, so many opportunities in 2020 in that hardship we were experiencing during lockdown to create those alternative pathways. And instead, we had a federal government that basically allowed the corporations to dictate, right? It was all in the name of the economy, but it really was allowing corporate greed to run the show. So maybe we get a do-over now. Maybe we have a chance now to change things so that it works for us working class people, so that we maybe could create an America with earth care, people care, and fair share, my beloved 3 permaculture ethics. We could have more sustainable practices. Life could be more affordable for all of us. We could have better worker protections, better compensation for our labor, a better quality of life for us. And we could have fair share. We could have things like taxing the rich. We could have universal health care. We could have our tax dollars work to create and provide for us, the people, so that we have things like FEMA. Again, we have disaster relief. We have a good quality of education for our kids. We have medical research. We have a pension plan. Heck, let's dream big. We could be like most of the other countries in the world. We could have paid maternity and paternity leave. We could have our college experience, our education, higher education funded far, far better. There's no reason we all have to go into insane amounts of debt in order to get a college education. We could do things a lot better. We can adapt. We can change. It's up to us, the people, to drive it. Sorry, Jen, to use your comment to just like completely pontificate here and just like go off, but you bring up such a good point. If we're hit with a roadblock, we can adapt. We can find different routes. We don't have to do things their way. We can all work to create ways to step outside the system, support each other better, support small businesses, support us, the American people, help support the planet, create the America that we deserve. Things are really, really hard, really difficult. It's not a good scene right now, but that doesn't mean that it has to stay this way. It doesn't mean that we have to sit in a position where we are like perpetually screwed and we're just scraping by fighting for the scraps. We don't have to actually be content with that. We don't have to settle for that. There's no reason we should have to settle for that. One of the things I've been saying a lot lately, that Christiana, Possibility Maven, also talks about pretty frequently, is that we have to dream of a better America. We have to, one, believe that we all deserve better. And then we have to start to think like, what is it that we want? What do we deserve? And from there, if we see where we want to end up, then we can figure out what are the steps we need to take in order to get there. We have to have the vision before we can create the roadmap and the plan to get there. So we don't like where we are right now. This is no good. This is not a good scene for any of us. So if we don't like it, what is it that we do want? What would work for us? What would be sustainable, resilient, abundant? What is it that could create an America of, by, and for the people where we actually have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? What would that look like? And then what are the steps that we need to take to get there? You need the vision before you can craft the plan. And I think that vision starts with us being fed up and saying like, this is not it. I don't necessarily know what the vision should be, but it's not this. Not this. We need something better. We deserve better. And then we believe in our own capability. We believe and accept the truth that we are creative, adaptive people, and we can find solutions to our problems.